Madonna, processed foods, there's too much of it.
There is. There's been another study that came out that shows that about 18% of our diet is ultra-processed foods. And it was funny, I think I heard this term at a congress about a year ago where they mentioned that, and I had to actually Google it on the spot. I thought, what are ultra-processed foods?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so it's just a new terminology. They're basically saying anything that's got a long shelf life, anything that's had ingredients in it coming from really processed individual ingredients.
What about long life milk?
Yeah, long life anything. Long life anything has been changed.
Because a lot of campers, those touring around in Winnebago's, whatever, they
yes.
all carry their long life milk because they're out in whoop whoop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, once again, if it's a small part of their diet, maybe they get away with it, you know.
Drink black coffee, black tea.
Yeah, so I think what they looked at in this study, and it was a study of about 100,000 people, and it basically showed that the higher the percentage of your ultra-processed food, and there were really simple things in there, things like breads and buns and chips and obviously lollies and stuff like that, no surprise there. Anything with a long shelf life, anything that's frozen.
Well, you know these hot days that we've been having. I've been having a beer at about 3 o'clock and opening up.
Beer o'clock gets earlier on these hot days.
Sea salted potato chips, and I just sit down and say, "Oh, the world is good," but the salted potato chips I'm worried about because I've gone through 2 packets in 2 days, and they're not little packets.
No, and I sort of think we just need to think about those things, you know. Is there a better option? Is there something that's less processed?
I'll tell you what, it does give you a great thirst, though, for another one.
Yeah. So number 2, beer o'clock, 3:15.
But processed foods.
Yeah. So they found that just by increasing your ultra-processed food by 10% increases the risk of a cancer by 9%. So, you know, it's sort of one of those things where, yes, 100,000 people, and they were very specifically looking at the amount of ultra-processed food, but apparently we eat too much of it. So no surprise, we've got to get into the less processed foods, the meats that we cook ourselves, the fruit and veggies, the stuff from the markets, the stuff from the organic butchers, the things, you know, we've just got to get less. And there was another research paper, this came out,
There's been a lot of health stories coming out.
There has.
Hell of a lot.
Like, you know, there's a product, what is the sweetener in it? Anyway, so another one of the sweeteners is in the news this week. Can I say a name?
No.
Okay, so so if you look up Dr. McCullough,
I'll be handcuffed and taken away.
So there's yet another sweetener linked in with cancer this week. So it's one of the healthy ones that is, that's been around for quite a while, and it used to be on an okay list going back 3-4 years ago, but then they started seeing that in rats it was messing with their DNA. So now 3-4 years later they have actually found that it seems to definitely be linked with cancer. I'm a real Dr. McCullough fan. There's a guy in America called Dr. Joseph McCullough, and people can be on his email list. He's on Facebook, he's all over the place. He'll send you 1 million emails, but he has really good articles. And the thing that I love about him is that he's like in his 60s. He's been in the health industry for over 40 years. He has a massive clinic in America where he just has lots of different therapists of all different types, including naturopaths and doctors and kinesiologists and all sorts of people. And his aim really is to help people know about health and what they need to be doing. And he will often...
they need to avoid.
Yeah, exactly. And he will often talk about individual ingredients in, say, lipsticks and mascaras or deodorants or things that we're not paying attention to because we've been doing it forever, that might not be impacting positively on our health. So for example, do you remember going back 25 years ago, and they were linking aluminium in things in with dementia. So that was a big link for a long time. Yeah. Okay, so and there was also a link with dementia to mercury. So remember the milliners 100 years ago, the hat makers?
Yes.
Quite often they would go crazy. Thus the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. So that was a bit of a thing, you know, the milliners would become crazy because of the mercury. I don't know why mercury is involved, but it's yes. So mercury's long been known to be linked in with dementia, and aluminium, once again, it crosses the blood-brain barrier.
Here's one for you. You talk about aluminium cans, which all our soft drinks came in.
Yeah.
I think even beers came in an aluminium can. Remember the old polystyrene cups we used to see everywhere?
Yeah.
Keep your coffee hot at the footy, wherever. They disappeared just overnight. Bang,
Yeah.
they were gone, and you got the heavy-duty cardboard, wax-coated, whatever.
Yes.
Why? Why did they disappear?
Well,
There was a health risk involved.
there would have been, but there's still a health risk involved in the paper ones. The paper ones are actually lined with BPA, which is a plastic that's linked in with health issues as well. So it would have been public outcry saying, we're not doing polystyrene. I don't think it broke down in the environment either. I think when it was being burnt, it released the CFCs in,
Yeah.
linked in with the whole ozone thing as well. Excuse me. So the plastic
I've got
ones...
a tablet for that cough, by the way.
So the plastic on the inside of the paper cup still isn't good.
So we're getting to the stage where you're going to have to carry a coffee
keep
cup
cup.
around with it.
I've-
Attach it to your belt.
I've been looking for a good looking one. I saw one with flamingos on ages ago, and I just wanted a fun one. Then I've been walking in and out of shops for the last year.
They get so dirty.
Well, I found one this week when I was in Umundi, so I've got a beautiful one now.
Isn't that a lovely part of the world? Up
Yeah.
there? Beautiful.
So it's
One
yes.
other thing I want to mention, and I read that, and I said there's a lot of health issues in the paper recently, new research into cancer treatments, robotic surgery, so forth. But this particular one, and it affects women with estrogen because it reduces your estrogen manufacturing ability greatly, is the lining in saucepans, frying pans.
Ah,
Did you read that too?
no,
But apparently it shuts down the ability to burn fat.
yeah.
And it affects women, it affects men, but women more so.
Yeah, we're sort of messed up by our estrogen, just saying.
We know.
Testosterone.
That's why you're on that side.
And there's a big fence between us. Yeah, that's right. So, well, testosterone is incredibly protective for guys, whereas estrogen is much more likely to mess with our livers. So, yeah, so the thing on like the Teflon coated
that's it,
things,
yeah.
and yeah. So basically, yeah, as funnily enough, it's heat. It's heat that activates this
chemicals.
substance that actually can't. Yeah, so what it does is attaches to the receptor sites on our cells so that you can't get estrogen into the cells.
Well, I've gone the
So
other
it's
way.
in that sort of.
I've got rid of the Teflon, and I've got the stone finish, the stoneware finish.
Yeah, right, nice.
Yeah, but I dare say probably in 5 years there'll be something wrong about that.
Yeah, but I think once again it's just paying attention, sort of having a look at things. If they're aluminium, is that doing you any good? Are you better off getting a good old iron crock pot or something like that,
The
so
old
that
steel.
yeah, exactly. I was lucky when I was 18. I happened to have one of those door salesmen come around, and I bought a $2,500 set of Rena-ware that I paid off over 2 years.
Did you tell Mr. Guy?
Well, it was pre-Mr. Guy days.
Oh, that's all right.
I did try to, a week later when I was thinking, what did I do? Anyway, I still have them now, and they're
Last forever.
great. They do, yeah. But anyway, I think all of those things, anything with plastics off, anything that can release chemicals when you heat it up or freeze
Can
it
be
isn't going
damaging.
to be good. Have as much glass in your house as you can, don't go crazy. You know what I bought from the from a market recently, and you can get them at markets? They're like made of beeswax, and they're like little sheets of sheets that will mould to any shape
For what
So-
reason?
to put over the top of bowls that have leftover food,
rather
or
than the Glad wrap.
rather than Glad wrap, because Glad wrap
It's
has
a chemical,
BPAs
yeah.
in it. So once again, if you're putting the Glad wrap over the top of your food and then you eat the food and it's been touching the Glad wrap, you will be taking on plastics. Plastics is a huge thing for endocrine dysfunction.
And we use it everywhere.
We do, and so that's why I think, getting those keep cups, but get a good one. Don't get one made of
Yeah.
plastic that's going to have the same problems.
Hey, when we come back, I want to talk about the kids again, because
Yeah.
the violence, and as you said, teachers are copying it
Yeah.
big time from these insubordinate little children, little imps, and they're not imps, they're worse than that.
Yes.
And the parents divorce themselves from the problem.
Yeah.
The teachers are left to raise them. We'll talk about this
Yeah.
when you come back. Do you remember Sam Cooke? No, you wouldn't.
Oh.
You're too young.
Oh, he's lovely.
Sammy Cooke, and this is from 1963. Now, don't say you were around then, because I know you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
I was, unfortunately. Bay FM, the great sounds.